Thank you, Toon. Thank you for having me again this year. I loved my experience 2 years ago, especially the wine tasting experience. And today, I think I have an interesting topic, and it's blended search. It's how you basically blend content to do local media content discovery. And why I think it's interesting is blended search has been a very hot topic in the search engine world in the last, I would say, 18 months, but we haven't heard too much about it in the Yellow Pages space. So I feel that this is very relevant. In my presentation today, we'll talk about exactly what is blended search so that everyone's aware, we're all on the same page. Why do we need blended search? And I think you'll be interested with some of the numbers I've found. Then we'll look at some examples of search engines and Yellow Pages websites that are doing blended search today. And I have to admit, I was a bit disappointed by the low number of Yellow Pages websites that had executed on blended search. So we'll see who has done it so far. And then I'll introduce you to some of the thoughts, some of my recent thoughts around local content discovery, and we might be the fact that we might be facing a new paradigm around the future of local search. So it should be a good session. So what is blended search? I found this definition on Search Engine Land written by Danny Sullivan. He defined what he calls universal search because that's the way Google calls it. So you might have heard that term as well. But the idea is you integrate, you replace some of the web search results with listings, with information that comes from other vertical sources. So in the case of Google, video, news, pictures, or local content, we've seen it with the 10-pack in local search in Google. And so the results are mixed in, they're blended. So this image gives you a good idea of the Google model of universal search, again from Danny Sullivan. I think it really explains how it's done, where before you used to search on very specific, very narrow vertical topics. And now what you do is you come through the main entry door, the main search page, and you're now able to access various content such as I mentioned, image, video, news, maps, books, and products, which obviously creates a much better user experience. Now, why do we need blended search? When I was working for YPG, we were working always on the assumption that none of the users were clicking extra tabs and other content and things like that. But I don't think I had ever seen data that showed that fact. And what's really interesting is obviously Google is always striving to create the best user experience. So they're showing the way. And a lot of people obviously gravitate around the Google ecosystem, so a lot of search engine optimization guys, and they're trying to, I won't say game the system, but enter through various entry doors. So blended search for them created new opportunities, but they started doing research. And what they discovered is that people don't click on tabs to explore the vertical content. 35% of search engines users don't use vertical search. So the only thing they do is they enter and they search in the main search box, but they never go and go on Frugo or Google Maps, things like that. They just go in, boom, boom, boom. And again, 25% do not recall if they have clicked the vertical search results. So for users, they don't understand what vertical search is. So the idea is, if people are only coming in, they're entering keywords, and they're getting results, they're getting relevant results, then it's all about surfacing valuable content when it's relevant, obviously. So, but the challenge there, it's all about guessing the user intent. So there will be attention, especially for certain keywords that are not exactly clear. And then you obviously need to try to guess that intent and to display the right results. So let's go into examples of blended local search, which I found very interesting when I did that research and took some screen captures. I was a bit tricky. What I did is I did a brand search in a local environment. So I searched for Sony in one of the biggest city in each either search engine or Yellow Pages site. So if you look at the Google results, right now, if you search for Sony New York, what I found funny in this example is that they didn't have any sponsored links, even though you're able to sell against brands in Google. But usually you will find some sponsored links. You have the famous 10-pack that they introduced in the last 12 months, I think. And then you have web results. So clearly Google has identified that you're doing a local search there, and they're returning you the Sony listings in New York. So if you do the same search in Yahoo, then what you also have the sponsored listings. So that advertising, you also see them on the right-hand side. You see also the business listings. They show 3 of them. And then they also show the web results. Now, staying with Yahoo as well, some of you might have heard of Yahoo Glue. It's their experiment to basically attach together pieces of information from, again, a lot of vertical sources of content that they already have in their portal. So this is more experimental, but I found that it gave me a very interesting notion of what you could do if you attach a lot of content. So in this case, I searched specifically for restaurants in New York in Google Glue. And then what I got is I got a map of New York. I got some sponsored links. I got some business listings as well. I got a tourist guide of New York. I got some New York news. I got some pictures taken from Flickr mostly. And then I've got some books that talk about New York. So this gave me a good example of the kind of local blended search content that you could have in a search engine environment. Now moving to directory sites. I think the guys at local.ch, and as you know now, local.ch is the brand that's promoted in Switzerland by the Yellow Pages publisher. I think they've done a very interesting job of integrating blended content. So I searched for Sony